If your online business makes anywhere from 10K a month to 100K a month, this video is for you. And the reason for that is Greg Wheeler specializes in taking online business owners from at least 10K a month to wherever they want to go, whether that's 40K a month, 50K a month, 100 grand a month, and even beyond that, all just from using AI to its full potential. Greg runs a multiple seven-figure AI consultancy. So as far as a raw, unedited video with a genius goes, this is as good as it gets. Enjoy. We got Greg Wheeler in the building. Thank you, Greg, for this opportunity, bro. Appreciate it.
Hey, happy to be on.
Awesome, man. So, Greg, we'll jump straight in then. You have built multiple seven-figure businesses, including an AI consultancy. So, when you start working with an online business, what's the first thing you fix?
The very first thing is insight, is what I call it. I find that a lot of businesses have no idea about their numbers. They have no idea of what's working and what's not working in their business, and they make decisions off of gut feelings as opposed to making database decisions. So the first thing we fix is actually getting a system in place where we have insight on their business, what's working, what's not working. So I typically start with doing 5 dashboards. So the very first one is I want a view of their entire sales pipeline. Then I'm going to do a dashboard around their social media content, another one around ads if they're running it, another one around their email marketing system, and then finally one that captures all of their funnel activities. And then that will allow us to see what's actually working in real time so we can make database decisions.
Cool. No, that makes sense. You basically get the data first, as the
Mhm.
first sort of thing you do. So I guess that leads me on to the next thing. This is kind of selfish, but if you were to start working with my business, right? We're a marketing
Mhm.
agency that builds websites, and lead generation systems for our clients. And we mainly bring agency clients in by running ads on Meta.
Okay.
What, on top of that insight, are some ideas with advanced AI you'd look at implementing in the business?
So this is after we already have the insights in place, the
Yes.
dashboards in place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so the very first thing I'm going to start with is because there's lots of different directions we can go with here. But I would want to know what your actual goals are for your business. Like, where are you trying to get? Are you trying to double your business? Trying to triple the business? Like, what monetary goal are you looking to achieve first? And then once I know that, then I would build some tailored systems around it. But I'll give you general,
Mhm.
and then I'm ask some questions, and then we can go specific for your business. So, general, one of the things I do when I work with a business is I'm going to install something I call central intelligence. And what central intelligence is, it's imagine training, having your own AI. Well, this could be any AI model, ChatGPT, Claude, any of these models, but it has access to information specifically for your business. So, what that could look like is every time you take a sales call, this system grabs that sales call, transcribes it, and then pulls out insights on that sales call. So now we have information on the objections that might have happened on that call, the goals and desires that this particular prospect might have mentioned, the pain points that they are having inside of their business, and then we can do that at scale across all of your sales calls. If you have coaching calls in your business, we can do that too to pull out client wins and things like that. We can have it go and mine comments on your social media feed. We can have it have access to all of the emails that you might have sent in your business, all of the ads. You say you run ads, so all of the ads that you're sending that you are using for your business, it has access to that. It knows what the copy is. It knows what the ad creators look like,
Mhm.
and so that's just a small piece of all the different things it can do. And then now, once we have that, when you want to go create a new ad, you have it look at past email perform. I'm sorry, past ad performance and alongside with all of this marketing gold that it pulled out from sales calls and comments and things like that. So now it can go and create a much better ad. It'll go write copy that is tailored specifically to what your prospects are saying in their own words, tailored to their pain points that they're telling you on the sales call. Because we all already have access to all this information on sales calls, but what I find is that most businesses never actually do anything with that information. It just lives in their head. So this is a way to take that information out of your head and make it actionable. So just based off of what you told me, that is one of the easiest ways to use this information to help you write better ads, help you create better landing pages, help you analyze your sales calls so you can increase your conversion rate. Now, if you want to get specifics, we can go specifics as well on your business.
Yeah, yeah, I think just a question I've got kind of on that point. So you mentioned multiple data points. Are you using MCPs to kind of pull data from all of these different sources, and then you can obviously use like the sales call data in the ads depending on objections and pain
Mhm.
points and stuff like that. Is that what you're doing?
So I use MCPs depending on the task. If there's an MCP already available, sure, I'll use that so I don't have to recreate it. So as an example, pulling Instagram comments, there's an MCP for that. So, but for most of the other things, I'm just using the API. So I have Claude Code build a skill that pulls information from the API, their publicly available API. So, and then I have that information fed into my database. So Superbase as an example, and then all these different tools can then access Superbase to pull whatever data it needs, so it can do whatever task I need to do. So if I'm going to have it write a new ad for me, as an example, it's going to pull the insights that were grabbed from the sales call. Is also going to pull information on historical ad data. Is going to pull best practices around creating ads. So depending on whatever framework you use for ads, whether it's Alex Hormozy's framework or any other ad framework that you may or may not be using, it's going to pull best practices for that. And then it's going to take all this data around your customer ICP, your specific voice profile, and then it's going to then go and write an ad.
Hmm. Okay, and does it sort out the creative as well, or is
Yeah,
it?
you can have it do the creative as well. So mine will write ad copy. It will create, headlines. It will also create scripts for a video if, you have a talking head video. But if it's going to be an image, then yeah, then it will go and actually create those images as well.
Cool. Okay. With all of this stuff you do you have like a specific revenue kind of when you take your clients from A to B, is there a
Mhm.
specific revenue point you're best at, where you see the most success with? Like, let's say there's a client making 10K a month and they want to get to 30,
Mhm.
or are you better with guys who are making 30 and want to get to 100 kind of thing?
So I would say anywhere in that 10K to 100K range
Right.
is because those people all have the same problems. They have maybe a scaled up version of the same problem. But generally speaking, now, and 10K is generally the floor, and that is because bef anything under 10K, most of these businesses don't have their offer figured out. They haven't actually figured out how to sell consistently, and that's one of the things that's important. Like we need to make sure, like, yes, could I help someone with their offer? Yeah, 100%, but that is not what I'm focused on right now.
Yeah.
So they need to have their offer figured out. They know they know what they sell and they know who they sell it for. And I find around 10K a month is typically when people have figured that part out. Now, if
Yeah.
they figure that out, then okay, they would just need to figure out what the bottleneck in the business is. Do they have a lead generation problem? Do they have or a sales conversion problem? Is typically one of those two. And this system can help with both of those. It's just a matter of which one we're going to focus on first.
Okay, cool. And then once you fix that bottleneck, it goes back to lead generation and then back to sales if you need that after as well. Um,
Yeah.
if you were helping, because you said people have similar problems just on different scales, if you were helping someone get from 10K to, let's say, 30, that was their goal,
Mhm.
and it was a sales problem to start with, what would you be looking at doing first there?
So are we talking sales from the perspective of a conversion, or are they just not having enough opportunities?
A conversion point of view.
So sales conversion. Okay, so the quickest when I was put in is something called a sales call analyzer. So ideally, this person is already using a script, and whether or not if it's the business owner or if they have a sales team, they're following this script. So we're going to pretty much take everything I just talked about with the central intelligence system.
Hmm.
We're gonna part of that system is on the sales side is going to be your script, and then we're going to take all of the sales calls that you do, and we're going to analyze it against your script to make sure this person's actually following the script, and then give feedback. The AI is going to give feedback on how well they follow the script. It's going to give them a score. And it's going to then keep track of all that to make sure that the next time they do a sales call, it's going to check to see if they implemented the improvements that is suggested. And that's
Mm.
how you get better. That's how you're going to increase your conversion rate. So this is something that typically a sales manager would do. But if you're at 10K, you probably are the sales manager.
Yeah.
So at this point, AI is going to become your sales manager. It's going to allow you to get instant feedback, an instant feedback loop so that you can make improvements on the very next call.
Yeah.
That is how I would get someone from 10K to 30K, assuming if it's a conversion problem.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of timeline do you see these implementations kind of yield a result for the business? I know that's going to vary, obviously, depending on the business, but when you make these sort of optimizations with AI, what do you typically expect in terms of timeline?
So are we talking about once the system is already in place or to actually implement the system?
Once the system is in place.
Once the system's in place, like fairly quickly, because it's going to depend on volume. So as an example, if we're talking about getting someone from 10K to 30K, uh, they might not have the sales volume. So depending on how many calls they get, but these optimizations can happen on a daily and weekly basis, minimum weekly.
Mm.
So let's say you had 5 calls last week, and you got feedback from the AI on all 5 of these calls. Assuming you are implementing the feedback, and you have 5 calls next week, I would expect to see a higher conversion rate, assuming that all of the people are similar quality, actually closable people.
Yeah.
Um, but on that timeline, it really depends. You could go from 10K to 30K in a matter of like a couple months easily. And the only thing that's going to hold you back is the volume. Can you get enough sales volume? Now, because depending on, let's say, as an example, your close rate was 15%. Okay, we get you to 30%. Now you're at 20K a month.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
that's without changing any of your volume. And now we get you to 30% plus increasing the volume by 50%. Okay, now you're at 30. And that can
Got you.
happen very quickly. So the limiting factor on that is really going to be the volume.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And if you focus on those two areas, I suppose that's a good place to start for anybody kind of looking to get involved with advanced AI. It's to get feedback on the calls and to
Hmm.
then focus on the marketing as well, taking the feedback you get and kind of scaling those two sides. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. Like the sales call there's so much marketing gold in there.
yeah,
And then pulling that information out and then not only using it to increase your conversion rates on your sales calls, but also using it to increase the number of leads you get on your marketing because you now have better and more effective social media content. You have better, more effective email marketing and things like that. So the sales call is what feeds the entire system.
yeah. No, that's gold. I like that. I want to switch gears just a little bit. So, Greg,
Okay.
if someone wants to start building valuable things for their business or for their clients, like simple software or even websites, landing pages using AI, what do you think they actually need to understand before they start? So, like, what's the minimum you need going in?
If they're building it just for themselves, or maybe just in-house for the clients, we're not talking about trying to sell it as a product, because that's a whole different ball game, and which I would
Yeah.
suggest people not do. But if they don't have a developer background, but AI has gotten to the point where you don't need a technical background, especially if you're just building these things for yourself. You could use something like Claude Code, or ChatGPT Codex. I have not played around with it, but I know you can do something similar to build applications with it. And all you need is just to have an understanding of what you want to have happen. And every time I explain this to people, and I know you probably noticed at this by this point, but just how easy it is. I can just say, "Hey, I want this to happen, and I want it to look like this, and I want it to have these features," and that's all you have to say, and it's awesome. And
Yeah.
people don't realize, they think I'm over exaggerating. when I say that. It's like that's really all it is. You just need a full understanding of what you want to actually, what you want to have happen, and what you want it to look like. And you can get started building out little. It's kind of like maybe a year ago when custom GPTs were, all the rage. So even back then, you probably needed a bit more tech savvy to do a custom GPT than you do now to build an entire application
Yeah.
because all you need to do is just speak in plain English, what you want to have happen, how you want it to look, what are the features, and then it'll go build that for you. And it's crazy, just like the world we're in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've definitely heard that a lot. People don't actually believe it. So I guess that kind of brings me on to the next thing I wanted to ask. If somebody is just using, we'll just go with Claude here, for example, if they're just
Okay.
using Claude Chat right now and they wanted to start using Claude to its true full potential, where do you think they should start?
Whew. This is for a business we're talking right now.
Yeah, 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 for a business.
Okay, so I would actually start staying in Claude Chat, and I would go back and forth with Claude Chat to determine what I should be building. Because this is one thing I've seen a lot on social media recently is people talking about they're using AI and they've been using it for months, but they're not actually making any money with it.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons I believe that's happening is people are getting caught up in this shiny object over here. One of the questions I ask myself all the time when I have an idea about something I can build for the business is, should I build this? Because there might be a tool already that already exists that can get the job done for cheap without me having to go build it myself. And because maybe it might take me 2 months to go build it myself. And maybe, yeah, maybe I could, but maybe it's actually, maybe the upkeep of that system would cost me more than the tool that already exists.
Mm.
So, as an example, I use EverWebinar for our automated webinars. It's $500 a year. I was thinking about, hey, I could probably build this myself with the help of Claude Code. And me and Claude went back and forth, and we determined that it would probably cost me 550 to $100 a month just in the tools I would need to just run that system.
All right. Okay.
So it would be more expensive for me to build it myself. So I'm just gonna keep using EverWebinar.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
when it comes to where to start, I tell people to try to only solve one problem at a time in their business. If you don't have like the infrastructure already in place, figure out what it is that you would want AI to do, or you would want an employee to do. So let's say, hey, you know what? I would really want an employee to become an email marketer, like an email marketer for me. I wish I had the money to go and bring on this email marketer for me. That would cost me thousands of dollars a month. Okay, so then I would start with Claude and ask Claude, how could I build an email marketing system with the help of skills and things like that, Claude Code, Claude Cowork, and then I would have Claude create the entire brief for me, help me create the entire plan. And then
Mm.
I would take that information to Claude Cowork or Claude Code to help it implement it. So I would still start with Claude, but I would try to limit myself to what's going to actually make me money. It
Yeah.
has to, those are my qualifications at this point. It has to either save me a significant amount of time or make me money. Otherwise, I'm not going to even entertain building a project right now.
Got you. Okay, so it starts in chat then anyway,
It
just by
still starts
getting a
with
proper
chat.
plan. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. Greg, what tools are you actually using day to day right now for work? You walk me through your stack in plain English.
So I like this question and I hate this question because uh I was working with my video guy when we were creating some content recently, and we made a video on like my whole AI stack and things like that,
Yeah.
and he was annoyed with me because my answer to all of them was Claude, and and I had to come up with other ones that someone else could use for these things.
Yeah.
And the reason my answer for almost everything is Claude right now is because Claude, if you're not even at the multi-million-dollar a year mark, Claude and Claude Cowork, Claude Code, all the things like now Claude Design, it can do pretty much everything you need to run your business. And I hesitate to give people a bunch of like my stack, like anything outside of that, is because those become distractions. And that's what I've noticed. People are, if they don't really know yet everything to use, it's like, oh, well, this tool can do this, and this tool can do this, and this tool can do this, and this tool can do this. And people get excited about it, but then they never actually do anything that will make them money. So my focus with any time I work with a client or anytime I give advice or consult with someone is like, I want you to make money from AI. I don't want you to get distracted by AI. I want you to use it to make money. So a $20 a month Claude plan is all most people need. And then if they find themselves getting to the point where they are hitting limits, then I'll tell them to upgrade. But to start, between Claude Chat, Claude Cowork, and Claude Code, that is that's and now Claude Design, that should be people's stack right now.
Mm.
And that is enough. You can build $1 million a year business with nothing else. Like
Yeah.
I'll throw in a caveat if you want ChatGPT and using for image generation now, because they are like so either ChatGPT or Nano Banana for image generation, you can use their API for that. You don't even need a subscription to those. You can just use their API. But everything else, that's all you need. You can build $1 million a year business with just that.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's good advice, actually. Just keeping it as simple as possible.
Yeah, because everything's in one place now. I don't have to remember, oh, I have a subscription to this software and then this software, and now I got to try to make them talk together. No,
Mm.
just keep it all in one place, and then it naturally knows how to talk to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Especially with MCPs now as well. You just have
Hmm.
access to all of your data anyway inside Claude.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, what would you say the most useful thing you've built that wasn't a big complex app is? So something small, practical that has just solved a problem.
Okay. So are you familiar with Asana?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been using Asana since 2015. Like back when I used to be an engineer, so I remember using Asana as my project management in 2015, and Asana's come a long way over the last 11 years.
Mm.
Um, and about a month ago, I was on a trip to in Italy with my girlfriend, and on the way back to that trip, I built a clone of Asana in about 6 hours on plain internet with Claude Code,
Yeah.
because I've been using Asana for so long, but there's always been like a few little things. Like as an example, when you are writing your description for a task. I want it to be color coded, and I really wish Asana would do that. Like, allow me to do color coding for things like that. And it's been like a pet peeve of mine for the last decade. So
Yeah.
I sat there on the plane and I just built my own. I just cloned Asana and I added all the features I wanted, and then I canceled my Asana subscription. And
And it's
that's not
cheaper to
anything
run.
super complicated. And all I did was tell it what I wanted to do. And oh, I want this feature. I want this feature. Oh, I wanted to do this. And then I built my own, and then I canceled that. So I saved myself 1,200 bucks a year.
Damn, man. And it's cheaper than to run it yourself than to pay.
Well, it's local. It just runs on my computer. I don't even need to host it.
Yeah. Right. Okay, that's
And if
clever.
I want to host it, okay, I can go do it on Vercel for free. And so
Yeah.
that my team has access to it.
Yeah, awesome. That's a really
Yeah.
cool thing. Yeah, fair enough. This, this is a bit of a side question, but where did you go in Italy?
I went to, so we spent the week in Lake Como
Lake Como, okay.
and then 3 days in Milan.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I ask is because I'm Italian, so I got family in Milan,
Okay.
to be fair. Yeah. I was
That
wondering
was
if,
my first time and I loved
yeah,
it there. All the food was, I love food and the food was amazing.
of course.
Did a pizza making class while we were there. We did
Yeah.
a pasta making class with the Airbnb experience at this lady's house. Yeah, that was a good time. We ate
Yeah.
all the food.
Nice. I'd say next time you go, have a look at Tuscany. Maybe Tuscany,
Tuscany.
like,
Is that on the Amalfi Coast?
no, no, no. It's
Okay.
don't even know where I would say it. Like I am from, or like my family are from, basically in between Florence and Siena. So
Okay.
in between there, those two cities, that's where you want to go. You want to check out next time you're in Italy. I would
Okay,
highly
nice.
recommend.
I will do that.
I'm a little
I have
bit
to
biased,
like when I
but
go, I'm gonna have to call and get some suggestions, recommendations on
yeah,
things to
bro,
visit.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Florence like the back of my hand, so
Okay.
I would recommend. Anyway, back to AI. So I don't think. Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, they could now with Claude Code. I was going to say I don't think people are going to be building Asana with Claude Code, but maybe they can. I want to ask, what's
Mhm.
something simple that somebody
Something
watching this? can go away after watching this, try and build just to get them started, kind of
just
use
to get them
AI.
started with Claude Code.
Mm,
So, number one, they could build a simpler version of Asana, just a simple Kanban system, to do, uh, done, and what's the other one in Kanban? There's like three typically things are so complete, to do, and then whatever the third one is. Just for simple, like a simple to-do list tracker. They could build
mm.
something like that. I'm trying to think of things that are simple that would also be useful for a business. Hmm. Simple. Because things that I understand that things I think of are simple aren't necessarily simple for other people. So I'm trying to I'm trying to actually give it an answer that is actually simple. I think this is simple. You tell me this is not simple enough. So I actually had a consultation earlier today with a multi seven-figure business and that's so just to kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier. These things, all the same problems, just different versions of the same problem.
Mm.
Because we're going to be building the central intelligence system. We're going to be building that into their business. They're super excited about it. But I had a conversation with them, and one of the owners, he mentioned, we have these team meetings, and we use Slack. It's like, is there something we could do where it could take the recordings from my team meetings, and then anytime we are given, someone says they're going to do something or tell someone to do something, it creates just like a to-do list so that it can track that.
Mm.
So you could build something where you could take the transcript of a team meeting and then put that into Claude Code. So you can tell Claude Code, hey, I want a system where I can take the transcript from a team meeting, and then you create a to-do list that we can track.
Mm.
And that's
Yeah.
all you would have to tell it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
then it
simple
would go
enough.
in and build that for you. And then you can
Yeah.
use that now to keep track of all your team's projects.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely simple enough for sure. Right.
Yeah.
Really cool. Good idea. Nice. Greg, what are you working on right now in terms of building something with AI?
Whew. So kind of what I just described to you with the central intelligence, but just think of that on jet fuel.
Okay.
So, like, my goal is to take every aspect of my business and the business I work with and just take all of the input. So, uh, Instagram comments, TikTok comments, YouTube comments, all of the videos and the content that we're creating there, all of the emails that we're sending, all of the ads that we're running, all of the sales calls we're doing, all of the coaching calls we're doing, like all that information, and then put that into a database that is accessible and easily used by my AI tools so that then my AI tools can go and create my content calendar for me and write the scripts or create the content and the carousel posts off of that content calendar, and then do the same thing for my email, and then look at my ads each week and then come up with things to test to optimize. And then, I mean, that's step one, but then it also, step two is it doing all that itself without me being involved.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. I was just going to ask actually, like as a follow-up question, are you going to be using co-work for that to kind of get it to do it all itself, like with the posting?
So that's a comment. Yes, it's a combination of all of the above.
Yeah.
So like all of the actual stuff is built with Claude and Claude Code. All the skills that I'm using I use to build Claude, and then everything is then wrapped around, if it needs to actually go and do something itself, it's going to be likely using Cowork if there's not a system already in place to, like, if there's not an API in place that I can just push it out to it, then it would be using Claude Cowork for that.
Cool. Nice. Greg, what are you trying to learn right now with AI in terms of the next thing you want to add to your stack?
Video editing.
Okay, yeah.
So
That's
I've
what
been
I'm
I've
interested in
been
too.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff around people using Claude to edit videos, and I just haven't, like, I've been traveling a lot the last month, and I was sick last week, so now this is the first week I really had to sit down and actually start playing again.
Yeah,
But I have a bunch of saved videos I want to go through and figure out, hey, how can I get it to edit my videos? So if I can get to the point where I can just speak to the camera, shoot a video, and then put that video in a file, and then it has all the information it needs to then go edit that video for me. And that's just, I'm excited about that. That's so
Yeah.
from a learning perspective, that's my next thing.
Yeah. If you figure that out, can I pick your brain on that so that I
Of
can use it
course,
too?
I will let you know once I have it done. I'll drop you a line on Instagram, and yeah, we can chat about it.
Awesome, man. Greg, I appreciate you. This was a great conversation. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, this was fun. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Where can people find you? Where are you on? You're on Instagram. Where else?
People can find me on Instagram and TikTok, but I'm mostly on Instagram as far as communicating, because I'm on TikTok, but I'm terrible about actually responding to messages. So Instagram at Greg Wheeler Live.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
That's it. Thank you so much, Greg. Appreciate that.
of course.